it looks like a car and it feels car-shaped.
It does actually feel like you're in a proper special place.
Hello!
Hello!
And welcome to the Pickard Mosquito!
Well, in last week's video, we asked your opinion. And we asked which dauber would you prefer? The drilled one or the teardrop?
And over 200 comments later, unanimously almost, teardrop.
Yep. So that's what we've done. I came in yesterday and we made some new ones.
The royal we,
Yeah.
you did it. Yeah, they're really cool. And we might tap them a bit deeper, just to get the aesthetic, but yeah, really like them, cool. I'll be honest with you, I was completely on team drilled, and I'm slightly concerned about the amount of people who've talked about getting human skin inside. How much skin are people shedding?
Well, although we might keep them for the Nürburgring edition. Super leggero, super lightweight, we might swap them out to put the lightweight ones in.
Yeah, that'll make all the difference. So this week, we're gonna get our pedal box moving and unlocked because we need to weld a mount behind the dash, don't we?
Yeah. So it needs to be super stealthy, super out of the way and super safe so it can't be knocked.
Right, so let's crack on.
Yep. We need to make a little lever that fits under the dashboard. So I kind of roughly scribbled this one out. So that's our lever. That's our pivot point. So we need to cut this out so we can make a functioning lever out of a piece of aluminium.
This lever, could we not maybe kink it up and then have it along? And then when you put your hand behind it, it's on the same angle as your hand.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah?
And you might be thinking, what's this got to do with getting it all welded and getting it all painted and all that kind of thing? But on our list of jobs to do before we get it all welded and painted for the final time is dash mounts, so that when we make a dashboard we can attach it in, and the mount to attach this so that we can move our pedal box backwards and forwards for different sized peoples, because we'd look like a right pair of melons if we completely like finish welded it and painted it and made it all nice, and then when we make a dashboard with it in there flipping grinding paint off to weld on tabs to then paint it again.
If you stick a 6mm hole in there.
Okay.
I'm just wondering whether we need to put a bearing in there or not.
That'd be a good idea for the quality of ale. I think it would function without one, but it would be a lot nicer with one, wouldn't it? A bearing of some sort.
Yeah, if you drill it. Hang on, I'll see if I can find a bit of brass upstairs.
Yeah.
Give it a tap and I'll just check it. 6mm. Can you have a 6mm hole in there?
Yeah. We know if you buy an underfoot sliding pedal box, you get a T-handle pull for your cable release. But we've decided to go for a lever design. This gives advantage for Miriam, because she's a lady with tiny little delicate fingers and hands, so that she's not tugging on a thing trying to release the locks for the pedal box to get it into her pedal position. And it's just a nice usability thing for her, rather than, like I said, trying to tug on a T-handle. Not that it should be stubborn or difficult or anything, but why shouldn't it be easy, you know? Yeah, and then just keep that thickness to the end, because then we can scoop it out, yeah?
That's a bit thicker there. Could make it thinner after.
Yeah. Well, once it's all radiused and stuff, it'll...
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I'm trapped. Right, top tip. Right, because I know not everybody has a dad to teach them. Right, if you struggle to cut straight with a saw, it's because you're cutting like that. But if you put your thumb on the side of the saw, it straightens up your cut. I don't know why it does, and I don't know how it does, but it does. And so yeah, if you struggle to cut straight anytime you use a saw, be it a wood saw or a hacksaw or whatever, it's probably because you're doing that or that rather than keeping your thumb on the side. Quite often it's little things like that that get overlooked by people when they're teaching people stuff. People want to know like big fancy things, but actually simple methods of using tools properly can, well, build you that. Ta-da! Well, that looks evil. That looks like it's designed to do proper damage.
I mean, if dentists come out with that, you'd run out of place, wouldn't you?
So it's at this point in the video, I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of our Patreon members for their support.
Yes, thank you guys.
And our slicks and qualifying slicks get a shout out mid-video. Qualifying slicks go first because they get their name on the finished car. So I'd like to say a huge thank you to Derek Green and Steve Schriefer. And our slicks, Alex Bottomley, Jamie Dowden, Neil Fuller, David Flaherty, Old Goat, Robert Millwood, Logan Pillsbury, Rob Podmore, Liam Quinn, Darryl Rowe, Tim Ritchie, Mike Saki, Joe Shripley and Andy Wood. That list keeps getting longer. It's brilliant.
Yes, thank you guys. We really appreciate it.
We really do. In fact, it allows us to spend more time in our week in the workshop. That's what Patreon and the YouTube memberships thing does. Someone asked in the comments last week how many hours of work we have put into Mosquito. We don't know.
No, it's a lot.
But it doesn't matter, right? It really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's to whatever it takes to make it the best it can be. But it's the video side of things that you don't really see either, and Patreon really supports that. So for example, if I've averaged 8 hours per video, and it often takes me longer than 8 hours, doesn't it, to make a video, right? But if I average 8 hours of editing time per video, that's over 1,100 hours of editing.
It's an awful lot, yeah.
In 141 episodes, I think we're on now. So yeah, that's what Patreon helps with. Video making is hugely time consuming and working.
In fact, it takes whilst if we were just working on the car and not filming, it'd be almost twice as fast.
Yeah.
Because we have to film, and make sure Mary M's has time to be able to film us and do what she needs to do.
Audio checks and stuff like that. Otherwise, you end up with moments like last week's video where my microphone wasn't turned on. So yeah, it's just one of them things. And like I said, Patreon helps massively. We want to do this full time, don't we? We want to make videos full time, and Patreon helps us to be closer to that. A lot of people think that you make loads and loads of money off YouTube, and you really don't. But there are people who do. We aren't them. So yeah, Patreon helps massively, and I just want to thank every single one of you for your support. It's huge.
Yep, thank you guys. I'm thinking we can drill it.
So, there you go. One weird little levery thing that's going to live under a dashboard that no one will ever see. But we'll know it's there, and we'll know it's beautiful. Like I say, it looks like, it's been said before, we make things that look like Italian kitchen equipment from the 1960s. Some people say we make things that look like Italian equipment, kitchen equipment from the 1930s. But this looks like some sort of quack medical instrument. You know, hold still!
So it's super important when you've got anything with a bushing like this. We've got two top hat bushes, two brass bushes. If you use just a standard bolt, over time what happens is the threads chew up the brass. So what you need to use is a bolt with a shank on. And that way it lasts for years and years and years. It doesn't chew up the bush over time, because basically they act like little teeth and bite into the softer metal. So we always use a bolt with a shank, especially when you're using a bearing or a bush. Well, basically the bearing runs on this part of the bolt and doesn't run on the threads.
I've dropped my thingy. Oh yeah, found it. Yeah.
And obviously when we build the car, you know, properly, right at the end, we'll use all the correct length bolts, and we'll use stainless steel where we can, and high tensile steel bolts where necessary. That is actually running on the shank of the bolt, it's not running on the threads. So if it was running on the threads, it would wear out really quickly, because it'd basically chew all the brass bushes up, and as it went backwards and forwards like this. But because it's running on the shank, there's no threads there, so it'll last years and years and years.
Stainless steel, anywhere it comes into contact with weather.
Yeah.
In fact, all of our Torx hardware, all of our Torx fittings, our NA fittings, they're all stainless, aren't they?
Yeah.
In anywhere they come into contact with weather.
Yeah, apart from the ones that are inside are aluminium, but all the ones that are outside are stainless.
Yeah, super cool.
The cable can run from the pedal box along there, up this tube. We can fasten it up really well, tuck it behind the tube, up, round behind this one, and to here. And then that will give us a nice neat cable routing, as well as the lever that can never be knocked because it's up here out the way. You can then, the dashboard top will be on top, so you'll be able to reach under, operate the lever, and push the pedal box backwards.
Now we just need a little home for our threaded insert here. And we haven't made one of these because I've got a box full of old bike stuff, and it's just one from an old bike. It's a derailleur cable adjuster. And so we just need a home for this to live. Yep. Somewhere around there. This is a perfect example of our dislike of brackets, right? Because as you can see from the whiteboard, we discussed many different designs and many different ways of doing this. And this little tab here could have been like some riv nuts and an aluminium thing, and couldn't it?
Yep.
And nuts and bolts and the whole thing. There's a bunch of different ways of doing this. But it took us ages to think of the simplest possible way of doing it with the fewest components, and this will get welded on, and then there'll be one thing that's threaded, and then our lever, and that's it. And vestigial brackets, or a bracket to a bracket, is a mount to a bracket is my least favourite thing on the planet, because you're adding weight and complication and things to come loose and go wrong all the time. And there's no need for it when you're making it all yourself.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, all it's doing is pulling two little pins out.
Yeah. just to prove that it will pull a cable.
So this is our little lever now. So now we can later, we won't do it now, we're not attaching the cable now, because once we fit it, we can't take it off and reuse it. It'd have to be a new cable. So we'll leave it like this is, but we've got a little adjuster here to adjust the cable tension. We've got obviously got our lever, and well, I want to see when the top of the dashboard goes on, the lever will be underneath, like this. So we can use it to pull the pins on the pedal box and adjust the pedal box.
And the pedal box pins are sprung, of course, so that will just be under tension. When you pull it, both springs will unlatch, and you have to release the tension to get the springs to unlatch. So you have to put one foot on the what do you call it?
The pedal box top.
Yeah, the foot plate.
The foot plate.
That's what we've been calling it. You have to put your foot on the foot plate, push on the pedal box, pull the lever, and then the pedal box will come towards you or slide away. And then that way it's all nice and safe. It can't get caught on clothing, it can't get caught on like somebody's bag or somebody's pants or something and get pulled accidentally. It can't be pulled while, you know, driving energetically. Like, there's no way that can get caught on anything. It's up and above this tube completely, and it's nowhere near anybody's leg or anything. So, and it's super lightweight.
Yep.
And super simple.
Yeah, obviously I've still got to finish weld it, but I've got to do a massive weldathon.
Yeah.
Obviously there's still to weld in the handbrake with this bracket to do it. It's not a bracket, it's a
Tab.
mounting tab.
Yes. But yeah, the cable holder, like, it's got adjustability, it's got everything we need, and it's super light and it's super simple, and yeah, spot on. And it just goes to show that a one-day build, we can actually occasionally do it. We've been attempting one for about a month and a half because we'd love to get back to 2 videos a week, but for one reason or another, that just hasn't happened. And so, yeah, we finally managed to do it. And it just goes to show we've knocked this house in barely a day.
Yep, and it is super lightweight, so it's just a ticket.
So that's all we've got time for this week. I'm nicking your line yet again.
Yeah, so leave us a comment, tell us what you think.
And a huge thank you to every single one of you for supporting us by watching these videos and sharing them with your friends and clicking like, and like I say, like Dad says, leaving a comment. And a huge thank you to all of our Patreon members for their ongoing support. Please be awesome to each other.
And we'll see you
in the next video.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.